Hi, I'm Veronica Carrara. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about a very important and essential skill that we could all learn during this COVID-19 crisis. The skill is self-awareness. Self-awareness is a very essential skill for our overall well-being. And by overall well-being, I mean our physical, our mental, our emotional, and also our spiritual well-being. You would agree with me that during this crisis, we have all slowed down, or rather, the crisis has made us slow down from our normal business. Because, as you know, most of us are always so busy doing one thing or another. But this crisis has put us into a place where we got more time with ourselves and with our loved ones for those who live with their families. I'm sure you'd also agree with me that during this crisis, because of all the time we've had with ourselves and our families, if you have been observant, maybe there is something you have noticed about yourself that you could never have noticed before, or even things that you have noticed about your loved ones that you never noticed before. And these things could be positive or negative. Maybe you have noticed you are more resilient than you thought, that there are things you could do that you never knew you could do. Or maybe you have become more snappy, or you get probably more angrier than before. And even other things also you have noticed about your loved ones. Nevertheless, you have noticed these things simply because you have had time to be with yourself and to be with your family for more time than before. And because you're so busy and so distracted with so many other things, there are things that you could not have noticed and you have never probably been aware about yourself or even observant. And that's the other thing is, and I don't know about you, but for me, I've been thinking about this crisis, and I thought that this crisis has given us all time to kind of reflect and ask ourselves whether the way we are usually busy, whether that has been really necessary. That maybe this crisis have put us into a place where we can now reflect and think what is more important and what is not important. And for that reason, I thought this probably we could use this space to get to know ourselves better, to get to know ourselves more, so that we can become better people. And that's why I thought of talking about self-awareness. So, what is self-awareness? There are two types of self-awareness. The first awareness is where you go inside of yourself, where you know you. And when I mean that, I mean when you know your body, what is happening in your body, what is happening in your mind, what is happening in your soul, and that is your emotions. In other words, being so much in tune and in touch of yourself, or rather the ability to know what you are thinking, what you are feeling, and what you're doing in the present moment. The other self-awareness is where you are self-aware of what is happening outside of you, within your surroundings. In other words, your environment. And this is normally informed by our five senses. So the five senses informs us of what is happening outside of us. And it teaches us how to perceive, react, or respond to our environment. And vice versa. The environment also learns how to perceive us how to react or to respond to us. And of course, when I mean environment, it means also other people. And so self-awareness is a combination of knowing yourself, or rather knowing what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you are doing, and also what is happening around you in the present moment. It's being conscious of what you are thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing, and what is happening around you in the present moment. Now, here is the question. Why is it important that we learn this great skill? Now, people who have great self-awareness skills are described as people with good self-control. And people with good self-control are more likely to be successful. They manage their emotions in a healthy way. They make better decisions. You describe them as level-headed. Their communication skills are good. In other words, their communication skills are so good, and it helps, and it enhances their relationships. They become effective leaders, but most importantly, they do not indulge or get into impulsive, reckless, and dangerous behaviors. There are people you can easily trust or rely on. Interestingly, most people think that they know themselves very well. However, in a study or in a series of surveys, it emerged that only 15% of people have good self-awareness skills. So what's happening to the rest of us? 85% of us have poor self-awareness skills. So why don't we have good self-awareness skills? I think there are 3 reasons why we don't have good self-awareness skills. Number 1 is because we are habitual creatures. Human beings are habitual creatures. In other words, we know what we are doing on a daily basis. Our daily activities are kind of ordered. For instance, you wake up in the morning, you wash or you have a shower, you dress, you have breakfast, you go to work, and maybe at work you do the same thing. So really, these daily activities, you can do them unconsciously. Most of the time we are on autopilot, and we are hardly aware of what we are thinking, what we are feeling, or what we are doing or what's happening around us in the present moment. The danger here is when something happens to bring us into the present, we normally react rather than respond. And when you live a life of reacting, I can tell you it is not good for our mental nor emotional health, or even for our physical health. Number 2 is most of us are under the illusions that we know ourselves very well. And we have this idea that we don't need to know ourselves. But I think I'll quote someone who said this. It's Edward Bowler Lytton who said that the easiest person to deceive is oneself. So we go around deceiving ourselves that we know ourselves. And with that kind of attitude, we are then never able to let out the potential that lies within us in terms of changing and becoming better people. And number 3, most people do not want to go inside of themselves because they are afraid of what lies within. And mostly it's because they maybe had a difficult childhood, past trauma, past hurts, difficult negative experiences. And the last thing they want to do is to face those difficult and painful emotions. And they would rather avoid that by distracting themselves with some other activities. And these other activities are not good themselves. And some of these distractions could be alcohol, drugs, gambling, or even some other various addictions. And even nowadays, you could say even anybody gets addicted with simple and small things. And for instance, nowadays, we are all addicted to social media. And I have seen and observed that sometimes when there is a difficult conversation or when people don't want to get involved in anything, they switch off and they distract themselves with the social media. They just take their phone and they start scrolling around. So we are very good, or most people are very good by distracting rather than facing what is happening, and especially if it is a difficult or painful or unpleasant emotion. So, which category do you fall under? Are you an avoider? Do you avoid those difficult emotions? Do you deceive yourself that you know yourself very well and you broke the opportunity of becoming a better person? Or are you in the habitual creature where you don't want to be conscious and you want to go through your life without experiencing the beauty and the goodness of knowing and being conscious of what's happening around you? Where are you? In this crisis, why don't I ask you to start learning this self-awareness skill? And it is about going within yourself and being present in terms of knowing what you're feeling within and what is happening around you, and being able to face, if you have a difficult emotion, know yourself. How do you deal with your emotions? Do you run away from them? Do you accept them? Or do you distract? Get to know those basic things about yourself so that then you can be able to move to the next step of getting to know yourself very well and becoming a better person. And remember, when you become a better person, you enhance your relationships. You are with your loved ones, with others. You even make our world a better place to live in. I'll stop there. Hope that has been helpful. I look forward to talk more about self-awareness in the next video. So please tune in, share, like, and comment